Okay, I have no idea how long this is going to take to appear on the screen. However, I think it's okay for me to actually start for now. Alrighty. Good day, hello, hi, good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I am actually not expecting anybody to be viewing this. This is mainly a test. And as such, I will treat it as if it's not a test. Cool. So, here's what we're going to be talking about. And I will be switching over to a different view while I'm doing this. All right. So the purpose of this video is for me to share and discuss something which God has shared with me. And it is captured in the book of Genesis 1 and basically all the verses. So let me grab my Bible, get it ready. Boom, Bible grabbed. I'm using the King James 2000 version for the sake of this. I am there. Genesis chapter 1. Cool. So, what God shared with me, due to what I found in Ecclesiastes, which was that there is nothing new under the sun. And let me change over to the other view. He shared with me in Genesis chapter, well, let me put it like this. I asked God, what on earth does that mean if nothing is new under the sun and we have the earth? Okay, some stuff happening in the background. And in the beginning, God created the heaven and the earth. First point of interest is God created the heaven. Let me just check where my mouse is. Yeah. And then the earth. So God started with heaven in mind. He started at the end before he started with the beginning. And why this stands out is because God defined where he wants us to end up in heaven, the end, before he described or created the beginning, where we all start off before we end up making our way into heaven. The funky cool part about this is that when he described heaven, according to the book of Revelations, he describes golden passages, golden pathways. And from my knowledge, I don't know any animal that actually has any interest in golden pathways. So to me, that says that when God defined heaven, when He created heaven for us, He actually made it so that it is specific to the people He wants in heaven. So what God was saying there is God defined the client that He wants to serve's solution before He even selected the client or defined who we are. He defined what he wanted to give us. He knew what he could provide and provided that first before he went on to develop anything else. So that's where he started. He started with the solution that he can provide first. Now that is verse 1. Let's go on to verse 2. And is this the right button to go to verse 2? Am I supposed to click a different button? Am I supposed to? Forgive me. Let's do this. Please give me the moving tool. I should have practiced this before I did this. Cool. There we go. Verse 2. Verse 2. And the earth was without form and void, and the darkness was upon the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God moved upon the face of the waters. Now, the face of the waters reminds me of another verse in the book of Ephesians, which says that we should continue to wash our minds with the word. So to me, this verse speaks about the fact that everything that's mentioned and defined in the rest of the Bible is captured within the Bible. So we need to make sure that whatever business ideas we have, any thoughts we have, any thinking we have, that all of it is captured and kept within the constraints of the word. So we want to make sure that all our activities and plans are God guided. Okay, GG. And that is simply what verse 2 speaks of when we're talking about online business. So the next section is verse 3 to 5, which says, "And God said, Let there be light, and there was light. And God saw the light, that it was good. And God divided the light from the darkness. And God called the light day, and the darkness he called night. And the evening and the morning were the first day." Now, here in this verse, we see that God separated, defined the good and the bad. So, with this, from a marketing perspective, we want to define the pain points, the uncomfortable points, the good points, and the long-term desire. Why? Because when you have this information, when you know what your customer, where they are coming from, where they are, and where they would like to go, you can easily define how to take them from where they are to where they want to be. So you need to know what's the pain points. You need to know what's the stuff that they don't want, that they have, that they're struggling with, that they don't enjoy. More of the good things, and be able to eventually give them the best things. And if you capture all of this in a nice fancy list for each step, what are you doing? You are preparing some information that you will be able to use going further in your business. So this is the first thing you want to tackle after you know what solution you can provide to your customer, to your ideal client. Now that is the first part that you want to be considering. So let's see what's next for us. Verse 4, I guess. I mean verse 6 to verse number 8. There we go. Sorry. It says, "And God said, Let there be a firmament in the midst of the waters, and let it divide the waters from the waters. And God made the firmament divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so. And God called the firmament heaven, and the evening and the morning were the second day." So here we have that God separated the water from the water. What does that mean? What does that tell us? That tells us, and that tells us there are things which needs to be known now. The bottom one, known upfront. And there's things that only needs to be known once the solution has been provided. Why? Why? Am I too slow? Am I talking too fast? I don't know if this thing is still running anymore. Okay, it's excellent again. With the solution. So there are things which will move your customer towards the sale, things which they like to hear, things which they want to hear, things which they need to hear. And then there are things which they will have to do, irrelevant of which solution they use. Okay, cool. So there's what that is speaking to. So how does that assist you now? This is how you can break down. So you're going to take your solution, right? You're going to take down your solution. You are going to go and you're going to create all the action steps that they need to do, all the action steps that you're going to do for them. So you're going to have three sections to this. You're going to have the them. You're going to have the you. And you're going to have the outsource section. So if there's any parts of your business you're going to outsource, you'll have that section. So here you for this solution to work for them, all the things that you need to do to provide the solution, and all the things that the outsourcees needs to do to provide that solution. And you will be able to then break this up into the various different sections, which then will allow you to then be able to support them in knowing what they need to know, and also knowing what you need to know, be able to provide them. So that is day 2, and now this is when things starts getting interesting. And day 3 is already. Oh yeah, day 2, third day. Cool. So it's like I need to switch that. Slow this down. Cool. It's been a very hot day. I've had a little schooler running this whole time. Anyways, back to where I was. We were talking about the earth, and we were talking about plants and fruits. So here's something I found quite interesting during this. So before I get there, let me not run ahead of myself. So we have God shaping the earth. He separated the waters from the land, right? He made the earth visible. Excuse me, I ran out of space on top there. He brought in shrubbery, brought in trees. Okay, brought in trees, that fruit, some veggies on the ground, and obviously this is water over here. Cool. What did God do in that process? He figured out which systems he was going to apply in the world. So basically, very top level of looking as to what business model he's going to use. The business model. Cool. He also described not just the solution, but rather the format of the solution. So there's the products that's going to be providing the solution. He figured out products, and he figured out 2 types. Short term, how do I know it's short term and long term? I'll tell you now. And long term products. So he had those types of products. How do I know this? Because I went and Googled, and this is the interesting thing I wanted to mention. So here's the interesting thing I wanted to mention. It turns out that vegetables, and I never knew this, I actually have absolutely no care about farming, unfortunately. Vegetables, many of them, and I think I specifically looked at the onion, takes approximately 3 months to be fully grown. And a fruit tree, before it can bear fruit, to grow up into a tree, why am I drawing this and not just writing tree? A fruit tree takes approximately 3 to 6 years to grow. Now here's the funky cool thing that I found, which was that short courses are this length, and degrees are this length. Isn't that interesting that people actually in the academic industry employ the same structures? They'll have short courses that are either this length or twice that length, and they'll have long courses that are approximately 3 to 6 years. You get a bachelor's degree over here, and you get a master's to doctorate over here. Isn't that interesting how that works? So, and honors somewhere in between. So these take various levels of time, and those are all different types of things. So what do you need to do here? You need to identify what is your business model that you're going to be following. So there are very top level, you have service model services, and then you have beyond services, you have products. So you need to decide whether you're going to be time based, whether you're going to be product based. Now, depending on which one you choose, I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Whether you choose services or products, there are ways for you to do this without you having to be the one that performs the services. That's another level. But the point is, you know whether you're going to be providing services, or you're going to be solving problems for people, or you're going to be providing people with the information to solve the problems. And or is the product a product that can solve the problem on its own, just a package thing? The difference with these two models is that the one requires is time bound. In other words, your time is like your time double oops. Your time is limited if you're providing a service yourself. If you get other people to provide it, then you should not be limited. While products, especially if it's digital, you can make it once, so it there's some passiveness to it, in the sense that you do work once, and you can reap rewards multiple times if done well, if done correctly, and if placed in a place where it allows for that to happen. So you need to figure out what type of business model you're going to be using. Are you going to be going services or products? And then you need to figure out what short versions of this you can do and what long-term versions you can do. Think about it this way. The shorter your project, sorry, the shorter it, the shorter the value, the smaller the value is, the shorter you can consider it, and also the quicker you can get to market. While the longer ones, you can't go to market as quickly because you are limited by how much time it takes you to either prepare or do the job. So this is where you're going to start thinking about that. So outside of choosing the top level model, you also need to do the following. You need to list out, oh, list out, I want to do that better. You need to, over here, list out the different ways you can provide your value, and what of that can be short and long. So you want to list out your value, and if done smartly and wisely, you will notice that the Bible talks about the fruit tree carrying its seed inside itself, uh, and the vegetation does the same. Let me read it again. Yeah, and the vegetation does the same. So if you do this well, you can do something called a cross sale, where you have references to your other products inside your other products, and your other products can do the same thing to another product. And this is called the sales funnel. Boom. Sales funnels captured in Genesis chapter 1 already. You have people who are interested in the first product shown another product that they could potentially be interested in. Cool. Now that you have all of that, let's move on to the next day, which is day number 4. Day number 4. This is verse number 14 to verse number 19. 19. It says, "And God said, Let there be lights in the firmament of the heaven to divide the day from the night, and let them be for signs and for seasons, and for days and years, and let them be for lights in the firmament of the heaven, to give light upon the earth. And it was so. And God made two great lights, the greater light to rule the day, and the lesser light to rule the night. And he made, where was I? I lost my track. And he made the stars also. And God set them in the firmament of the heaven to give light upon the earth, and to rule over the day and over the night, and to divide the light from the darkness. And God saw that it was good, and the evening and the morning were the fourth day. So on this day, there's mentions of the sun, there's mentions mention of the moon, and there's mentions of the stars. Pick, 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 blah, 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 etc., etc. That should looks almost like stars and things. So the one is to rule the day and the other is to rule the night, right? These are, in my opinion, we also mentioned that these are for signs and for seasons. And there was one more thing. I find it. For days and years. So days and years of time. Okay. I believe this is the marketing chapter of day. And why? Because here you decide people love the day, people sleep during the night. So you want to make sure that you have a lot of positive marketing content. You want to list out good things you can say about the product that will support them. You also want to have some smaller, more pain point orientated content as well, where you point out the pain points, the darkness, and you want to bring in the light. You want to mention the good. You want to direct them with the good to the solution. So I put solution at the bottom here because this also points here. So you want to list out the pain points. Well, you already have it listed out, but you want to gather them together and add to those pain points the call to action, which is the reference to the solution. You want to add to that the um, positive thing that you can say about it for the negative content. For this side, you want to highlight all your so all the good things about it, and you want to also add the call to action, what's going to direct them to that, and you want to give them a good story for both. So you want to structure, actually, let me read that. You want to structure all your positive points. There we go. I figured it out. I'm right. Cool. I got it now. You want a structure. You want a story that highlights these points. And you want a story that highlights these points. Okay? And you're going to be always directing them to the solution with these type of content, right? Now, you also have signs. So these are going to be types of content which also directs people, shows them that there's something that's missing in their life. So things that are missing, they will see it by the signs. They will realize there's something missing. Signs also, you will use them as a direction to a launch. Cool. Seasons. These refers to the stages of marketing. I believe that because there's different seasons, There's going to be times when you're going to be directing people to a major launch, major launch, and to a evergreen launch. I'll call it evergreen or minor launch. Why? So there are things which are not as big and as amazing as the big launch, but lasts longer. So that would be the evergreen launch. And then for times, these are your everyday types of content. This is where you are going to add content which are linked to your personality, linked to your brand, linked to your favor, linked to you. These are all the types of things that describes you. So there are 7 days in the year, 7 days in a week, and there are 12 days, 12 months in the year. So I'm gonna come up with something. I know it's gonna come to me. I don't have it here yet, but this will describe to you lovely and nicely all that is required and necessary to create these types of content. So now the question is, which content takes priority? Cool. You want to come across as a real person first, but you always want to point people back to the solution. Jesus, when he started his kingdom walk, or rather, let me put it like this, his mission on earth, the Bible says that he started going around saying that the kingdom of heaven, etc., etc. I forgot the words now, I don't want to lie. So Jesus started sharing his mission everywhere he went. He then, while he was on his mission, provided value. He did things for free. He then also made sure that he fulfilled his signs. Okay. He also made sure that he was developing people, growing people, teaching people. What else did Jesus do on his walk? He also made sure that he um, took people out of where they were to better places. People out, took out. Cool. So Jesus did all these things as he did his walk. So what does that mean? To me, it means that we need to have a balance of these four things in order to ensure that we are doing things well. So three of these are all some form of value. I called it value here because this is miracles, right? And over there was teaching and assisting people in getting out of their mindset changes. Let me put mindset, yeah. All of these things here, Jesus did on a daily basis. Whenever there was a sign required, he dealt with it. But he was always providing values, always healing people, always providing miracles, always teaching people, always assisting people to get out from where they were stuck. And in the same way, when we are doing our marketing, we are doing our content, we are providing value, we need to make sure that we are providing all four of these. And then Jesus also, when he did his teachings, oopsie daisy, he did one more thing. During all of that, he directed them to God. He directed them to the solution. So what's the ratio here? The ratio is 1:4. Okay. So for every one that points to your solution, you should point and provide value. Okay. That's the that is um the that is the that is the ratio. Cool. Now that marketing is out of the way, let's go on to the next day. Woohoo! Live stream is way longer than I thought it was gonna be. Just saying. We are now on day 5, and in day 5, we are on verse number 20, going all the way to 23. Cool. I don't know if I'm still live. I'm going to check quickly. Cool. We are still connected. Verse 20 says, And God said, Let the waters bring forth abundantly the moving creature that has life, and fowl that may fly over in the open firmament of heaven. And God created great sea creatures and every living thing that moves, which the waters brought forth abundantly after the their kind, and every winged fowl after its kind. And God saw that it was good, and God blessed them, saying, Be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth, fill the waters of the sea, and let the fowl multiply in the earth. Okay, so yeah, we are discussing systems. So up to this point, we've been addressing the copy of what we're going to be using. Now moving on to the systems that will fulfill the solution which we provided and figured out, and how we're going to get it out. So here we are planning and setting up two types of systems. We are focusing on, and I'm going to draw a big ball in the center. Are you leads focused? Are you um, sale numbers focused? Depending on your business and what you are doing, different KPIs. There are ways to figure out what those are meant to be, could be, it should be. And then you have your input to your business. So this is the output. These are the things which you need to see on the top view. And then you have your input, which is traffic. Traffic. And by traffic, we mean people. And by people, we mean leads. And by leads, we mean potential clients. Okay. So these refers to the fishes. So yeah, we want to talk about the various systems. We want to list the various systems we intend to use in order to create traffic. So this could be ads, this could be free methods. You want to list out and you want to be aware of where you intend to market your business. Okay. Then for your top level view, you want to list what's important to you, what metrics makes the most sense to you, and you want to make sure that you use these as a guide for if your business is growing or not growing. So I would recommend, and when you define this, is that you go and do some research, because I can't think of any right now on the top of my head on what they are. When you know what you want out of the business, you can even reverse engineer to figure out what you want coming in, right? Now, James Wedmore said he views this business as a bunch of gears that works together. So if I use a different color, I break this up into segments. When your customer comes in, they are hitting what? Let's say this is your social media account. I'm going to draw this to represent TikTok. From TikTok, if you're lucky and if you've done your job well and had a very good conversion rate, you will get them to land up on a web page of yours, right? I'm going to draw this square with a little square inside. If you get them here, there'll be a certain percentage of people that will go through to the next page, which might be just a random page, it might be sales letter, might be anything of that nature. And if you get them through to the next phase, you get them to actually go and spend money. And if you get them to spend money, then, or whatever your final point is, it might be something different, you then have people that made a purchase. So there's a percentage of people that was traffic on this platform that actually went to this page. Percent of these people that got there, they went to this page. It's the percentage of people that got from this page to this page. It's the percentage of people that went from this page that went and purchased. And if you make some good estimates or find good examples of estimates, you can actually work backwards in this direction to figure out from there to there to there to there to there, figure out what that number should be. Now, in case you don't know how to do this, I don't understand bit rates. Maybe my quality is too high or something. I don't know. My first live stream. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. So this, if this number is, let's say, 100 rand, okay, that's what profit you want, and you figured that only, let's work from this way. Let's say from everybody that gets it, only 2% show interest in your product, and of that 2%, 50% are interested, and of that, another 50% is interested, and of that, only 20% buys. Let's use those, right? How you would get there to there is you would take this number and you would divide it by each percentage. You divide, you get a number, you divide again, get a number, divide again, get a number, divide again, get a number. That's your profit. That's your profit, and there's something I need to missed here. And your product, let's say your product is 50 rand, right? I'm from South Africa, so I'm using rand. Okay, that means this number is 2, right? Your starting number is 2. So now I'm going to take out a calculator. Okay, calculator up here. Okay, so we got 2, and we said 20%. 2 divided by 0.2, which is the same as 20%. And let me just show that for any people who don't believe me. 0, let's go 20 divided by 100. That's the same as 20%. You see it's 0.2. Okay, so I'm just going to write everything as 0.2 or 0. Whatever. Okay, multiply by 0. So we got 2 divided gives us 10. Guys, these figures are all made up. Okay, so not very many people actually want to just make 100 rand on profit, but then we divide that number by 0.02. 2,000 sounds like a very lot of work for just 100 rand. But that's the truth. If you need to reach a lot of people to make sales. Now, there are many methods people use and employ to make the most of these 2,000 people. One of them I kind of hinted at over here. So you want to get people into your traffic ecosystem. So there's 3 types of traffic. The first type of traffic is free traffic. Second type of traffic is paid traffic, ads. The third type of traffic is traffic you own. So if you convert 2,000 people, and half of the 2,000 people, well, 40 of the 2,000 people end up on this page and join, then you are able to contact that people at will. So that is always the goal. You want to get people into your own ecosystem so that you can access them at will. And I was informed that you can make, from one guy, he says, and I've heard other people use slightly larger numbers. I'll just take the mean average and say you can earn 10 rand for every person in your list, in your ecosystem, per month, figure it out. And then there is, you've now also figured out where you're going to get the people from. Okay, now we will go over here. Come on, cool. Now we're moving on to day number 6. and we getting to verse 24 to verse 31. This is the last stretch. God said, let there, but he mentioned beasts on the other side. So God created man in his own image. In the image of God created he him, male and female created he them. And God blessed them. And God said unto them, be fruitful and multiply and fill the earth and subdue it, and have dominion over the fish of the sea, and over the fowl of the air, and over every living thing that moves. And God said, behold, I have given you every plant bearing seed, which is upon the face of all the earth, which is upon the earth, and every tree which has seed in its fruit. So it shall be for food, and to every beast of the earth, and to every fowl of the air, and to everything that creeps upon the earth, wherein there is life, I have given every green plant for food. And it was so. And God saw everything that he had made, and behold, it was very good. And the evening and the morning were the sixth day. So here we can see that God employed various animals, none of which eats each other. And I'm gonna just grab a picture. I drew some animals before out that I felt stood out for me because I wanna replicate this drawing for you guys. So I believe that this is finalizing the rest of the systems. So we've looked at the traffic point, because the thing is, you can actually start marketing and getting people to the first portion of your website, even if you don't have your products fully ready for them yet. Okay. And then these are the other systems that deals with all of those things. So what I wanted to say was, when God created the animals, they didn't eat each other. So what were they there for? They were there to allow the ecosystem to continue to flourish and feed itself. So all the animals that God placed down was meant to support man, right? He had dogs, right? Although dogs only become of importance as we use them after the fall of man. Tail, God uses sheep all the time. Don't forget sheep. Sheep. We have um, cattle. God mentions cattle by name. Cattle. And I'm drawing cattle twice. Draw a donkey. A horrible donkey. It's going to take too much time drawing this. It's got a long big head. That looks like a donkey. That's good enough. And the donkey is pulling something to plow the ground. Yay. And we have insects reference as well. We got a big fat tree with a buzzy bug flying around from the tree. These are various creatures. Now, why did I choose these ones? Why did I mention the rest? I've already applied the rest of the places. But one thing of interest is that birds, that's not the way I want to draw a bird. Birds this is a horrible bird. Provides fertilizer to the ground. So they do provide some support in the ecosystem in ensuring that there is more plants growing. Okay. And bees assist in pollinating. And any animal that can pull a plow is assisting planting new seed, milk, and honey. Milk strengthens the bones, honey provides healing. Sheep provides wool for clothing and meat to eat now, then not so much. And dogs provide protection and companionship. So, what am I saying with all of this? Some of these things are used in production, so you have production systems. You have systems that provides covering, so places to place your things, keep it safe, things to strengthen, to amplify your work, to support it. You have service delivery. A donkey could be carrying a cart, could be carrying a plow, could be using another type of cattle to carry the car, to carry the plow, and donkey or something else. But you've got service delivery, and then you've got actual transportation of the delivery, which depending on whether this is digital or not is different. And I call these systems in the trench systems because they involve you. That's not look like a flower. A little bit better. 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. They support your client more directly than the other systems. These all are meant to support the client or the business in some other way. Cool. Now that we've covered that, the other part of this day is the part where God said in chapter 28, and God blessed the man and said that be fruitful, multiply, fill the earth, subdue it, and have dominion over it. Those, I believe, are growth stages for your business. Okay. When you start out, you're just going to be fruitful. Okay. And then you're going to do more of the same thing because you know it works, and you're going to multiply. You're then going to want to intentionally take a larger share. You're going to start subduing market share. And when you are a market leader, you've had dominion. Now, everybody can't be have dominion if we apply the rule of we have competitors. A guy known as Mahedin Golden from the United States recently that if you are here on a God-given assignment and there's only one of you doing that assignment, then it means you don't have any competitors and you definitely can become number one. So just putting it out there, I wanted to share that you know that you need to make sure that you don't skip these steps. You need to make sure that you get fruitful first so that you can know that you can move on to the next step. You need to know that you have been fruitful, that you have made the step complete before you can move on to the next step. So those are those stages. And this is the part where God has said He has covered every part of the business. Everything's been addressed. Everything's been covered. And now, at this point, you know for when activate the business fully. Can open the floodgates and let the money start coming in. Now the question I have for you is, what day are you on? That is my question to you. So I have two businesses that I am currently working on. The one is what I'm sharing with you guys now. I'm building the pieces, putting everything together, setting it up nicely, and letting it launch. That is, I'm deciding on a good name for it, but I will probably be launching it as a book very shortly. And it will be um, one type of business, and then the other one is a print on demand type of business. I'm using a POD structure. Why? Because I don't want to spend cash making the product. I don't want to spend cash delivering the product. I don't want to spend cash marketing the product. I need to first make the cash before I'm willing to spend cash on the idea. And by me doing this, people then would buy, and then I would earn a percentage of the sale. And then that percentage was what I was going to charge anyways for it. And then what I was going to make anyways on it. Why did I write 20% down? And then all these other things that I don't have to cover, I don't have to have the money is then addressed and given to the people that owns the store. And in that way, I reduce my the heaviness that I have to take part in the beginning. I want to do this as quickly, efficiently as possible, and that is why I am using the okay. So this is a journey, and I don't know how much of the journey I'm going to share with everyone as I go through it. But at this point in the journey, I am capturing what I feel I need to capture and sharing it. And if you want to join me on this journey, please like, subscribe, do all the good things. I don't know how many of you guys are actually going to make it to the end of this video. It's been 57 minutes from a guy who didn't even describe who he is in the beginning. But this is the video. This is what I shared. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. So basically, what's at the back here is what God gave me for the other business. And it captures our daily walk as Christians in one word. A word that every Christian that speaks English knows. And it's not love. But have a lovely day. Have a blessed evening, a blessed day, blessed everything. And God said in His Word in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 8, is the one that gives you wealth, gives you the power to create wealth. In the book of Numbers, chapter 14, verse 28, God said that as you speak into His ears, so He does unto you. And God said in the book of John, chapter 10, verse 10, part B, that He came to bring life to us more abundantly. So, yeah, I wanted to just share those verses with you. Have a blessed one. Stay blessed. God loves you. Goodbye. And now I need to figure out how to stop this. Whoops.